So are you a busy person? How often do you get to the end of your day thinking, I've had a really busy day, but I can't actually remember what I achieved? So here's 10 top tips for getting the most out of your day. Hi, I'm Rupert, Action Coach, Business Coach in Kinross in Scotland. Today we're talking about time, because as a business owner or an entrepreneur, what's life really about? It's about trading your skills, your genius, your expertise by investing time to create money. It's ultimately what you're about. It's investing your skills and time to make money. So this is 10 top tips for getting the best out of your time. And number one is all about taming the phone. Actually, it's a bit more than taming the phone, because it's actually taming the phone, your emails, social media. How often do you find yourself, I've just got to check LinkedIn. Well, whilst I'm here, oh, that's an interesting post, I'm going to go on and do something else. Sitting there at your computer, how good is it when Microsoft gets it to just ping up and say, you've got a new mail, little icon in the bottom corner, little just tempty bit, just all about it, top line of the email pops up, and away you go into the email. Oh, it's something I could deal with, off I go, and all of a sudden, the piece of work I was working on is now history. I've got to come back to it. I've got to get myself back in the frame of mind. So tame it. Make sure you've got periods of the day where you can concentrate on the real work you've got to do. Just about being organized. Make sure that, the social media is important. Have a time to do it. The rest of the time, switch it off. Log out, turn the mobile phone off, disable the thing on the emails that pops up to say, hi, I've got a new email. And just make sure you're not going to get those distractions. It's not don't do it, it's just tame it. Have the time when you're going to focus on it and the time when you're going to focus on everything else. Okay, so on to number two, and it's all about making and using lists. We've talked about goals in the past. We've talked about the daily lists. Lists are fantastic. I'm a real list person. My office whiteboard, list of things I've got to do, daily list, people I've got to call, list of people I've got to call with their phone numbers. The beauty of lists is you've got something to work from. You've got something that's a visual cue. You can stick it on the wall, you can stick it on the desk, you can get one of these notepads that's got a pro forma that you can do the list on. And the excellent thing is when you've done something, you can cross it off. And the feeling of being able to cross something off the list and move on to the next one motivates you a bit more. So how many lists can you have? How many lists can you stick on your wall? And then at the end of the day, you can rip it up because you've done it and you're on to the next thing. So on to number three, real favorite of mine, absolute punctuality. What does it say when you're late? So what it really says when you're late is, I don't care enough about you to have got here on time. I used to work in government. I used to be a part of the civil service. We had a real culture of meetings and people would go from back to back meeting. So your meeting would overrun, you'd leave at 10 for a 10 o'clock meeting the other side of the building. By the time you get there, it's 5 past, nobody's started. So that meeting runs on 5 or 6 minutes. So you're on to another walk to the next one. And by the time you've got there, the end of the day, the meetings are down to sort of 20 minutes because everyone's run so late. How much are we really going to get done? So absolute punctuality. That means the meeting before finishes 5 minutes early, so that you've got the time to get to the next one, be ready. It starts at the time we said. And if you've got that sort of culture in your organisation and you're chairing the meetings, just start. It doesn't take long if you start bang on time for people to realise to join in your meeting, they've got to arrive on time. Nothing secret about it, just absolute punctuality. Okay, number four. Having talked about punctuality in meetings, actually, do we need them at all? Minimise your meetings. Probably no meeting needs to be an hour. Our attention span isn't that long. So why not make them half an hour, 20 minutes? Better still, if you can have a meeting while you're all stood up, you don't need to sit down. It really focuses the mind on keeping things running. And then, do you need it at all? What were you actually going to achieve in the meeting? So if you're going to have a meeting, needs an agenda, you need to know what you're trying to get to. Actually, what's the outcome? For most meetings, that should be having some actions, things you've decided and are going to do. Meetings are not there to have a nice friendly chat about stuff that doesn't reach a conclusion. They're there to reach a conclusion and get some actions. So do you need to have them? Are they going to have some actions at the end of it? If not, you've got an hour back because you're not doing your meeting. If you are going to have the meeting, it's going to be really focused. We're going to go for some actions. We're not going to worry about the waffle. On we go, bang. So number 5, link everything back to your goals. You have your goals. We worked on them a little while back. If you can make sure that all of the things you're doing link back to one of your daily goals, you're on a winner, because you know that the things you're doing are something that's going to achieve something useful. It saves you getting distracted. So if something comes up and you think, oh, that'd be good, I ought to do that, which goal does it fit? Actually, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it wasn't that important. Yeah, I know, every so often there'll be an exception. They're probably not as frequent as you think they are. So just have that little bit of discipline of saying, which of my goals does that achieve? And that'll just help keep you prioritized into the right place. On to number 6, block your time. Yes, make sure you have used every hour of every day. Divide every day up into half-hour blocks and make sure you've got some activity in against all of them. I'd call it a default diary. I've got a diary. Every minute of every day is full and it tells me what I should be doing that links back to my goals. So I know that the period of time, 10 o'clock on a Monday morning, I've got a coaching call. I know that 9 o'clock on a Friday, I'm doing something else. I can move them about, but I have to physically think, where am I moving it and what is going in there and does it meet my goals? And it helps keep the extraneous stuff, the stuff I don't really need to do, from filtering in because I've just got 5 minutes spare, because I haven't. It's busy, I know I'm busy, and I know it's something important. Okay, number 7, minimize unplanned activity. So it sort of follows on. How are you going to keep out the stuff you don't need to do? So there's something about trying to avoid the time wasters, trying to avoid the things that are happening. Make sure people know your time's valuable. Make sure you know your time's valuable, and make sure you can sit there and think, is it part of what I'm doing? So if it's not planned, it's not part of the plan you came up with last night for today, should you be doing it? Probably not. Just about minimizing that unplanned activity. Number 8, profit from downtime. How much time do you waste sitting in the car driving between appointments, sat at the airport waiting for the flight, sitting in a coffee shop waiting to see the next client? What else could you be doing? So some of that time you might be able to do a bit of planning, thinking from lists, less so if you're driving in the car. What about an audiobook? What about the learning you need to be doing? So some of this you can play whilst you're in transit. You can sit there, headphones on, sit it on the car stereo, listen to the next business book. Some fantastic books all about this. Mentioned, I think last time, Brian Tracy, Eat That Frog. Keep eating the frog. It's a great audiobook. It's a fantastic way of using up that dead time whilst you're traveling between appointments. On to number 9. Live off peak. So what do I mean by live off peak? Well, you know what used to be sold on electricity meters? You know, you've got your economy 7 where you're using electricity when it's being used least. What I mean is do things when they're being used least. So if you're going shopping, make sure you go shopping when the shops will be quiet. It'll take you less time. So if you know that things are going to be busy, don't do it. Travel in times when you know that the traveling wherever you can is going to be quieter. You'll lose less time doing it. It's just about thinking, how much else is going on in the world? How busy is everything else going to be? And how can I go when other people aren't? So I make the most efficient use of my time. And number 10, absolute favorite, don't procrastinate. Mentioned Eat That Frog. This is eating the frog. You know, nobody wants to eat a frog, but if you've got to eat a live frog, the best time to do it is first thing in the morning. If you've got that task you've been putting off, the best time to do it is now. Ancient Chinese proverb always said, best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago, second best time's now. Exactly the same with tasks. The task you don't want to do, you should have done yesterday, you absolutely need to do it today. It's the first thing on your list. Eat it fast, eat it quickly, and if you've got 2 of them to eat the ugliest, nastiest task or frog first. So that's 10 top tips. It's all about investing and not spending your time. Make sure that every moment that you invest, you're getting something really powerful back from. I'm Rupert Hine, Action Coach Business Coaching from Perth and Kinross in Scotland. Do the best with your time. Let me know which of those tips works best for you. Pop the comments down below and let me know what else you'd like to hear about. See you next time.